So, Arda, we're going to get reaction from those who are experts in the world of terrorism and counterterrorism. I'd like to introduce Jeff Hall. He's a director with the NATO Association of Canada and a counterterrorism expert. Thank you, Jeff, for being here.
My pleasure.
So we know this is big news, the death of al-Baghdadi, but it does not eliminate the threat of ISIS. So what does this do?
What this really does, it's like a quarterback. It's like taking the quarterback right out of the game. So the players that are left are diminished. They can't be as effective as they were because now they've lost their quarterback. So it's a big blow to ISIS. Was it going to eliminate them? No, but is it going to be a big blow? Absolutely.
But al-Baghdadi had incorrectly, it had been reported, killed before. He was still alive. So he would have, of course, made some kind of contingency plans for this organization. And of course, we know that their strength and their resources have been depleted in the last few months, in the last few years. But there's some kind of contingency plan in place for ISIS to continue to thrive in some capacity. So what is next?
Well, what's next is they're going to take the intel that they would have gathered on that raid, which would be hard drives, paper information. A lot of the fighters actually gave up and surrendered. So there's going to be a lot of intel they can gather from that. And then they're going to chase down a lot of the people that they're able to figure out the networks, how they actually work. So a lot of them will go underground for a while. But you're right, it's not going to completely eliminate ISIS, but it's definitely giving them a death blow for the time being.
And President Trump was very quick to announce the death of al-Baghdadi. A victory for his administration when you consider that he could frankly use some good news with this impeachment inquiry underway. But President Trump had previously criticized, at the time, President Barack Obama for saying he got Osama bin Laden, when really, as you and I have been chatting off camera, it's not President Donald Trump or President Barack Obama there in the trenches doing the work. Yeah. So let's talk about his announcement. What did you make of that?
I thought the announcement overall was it has to be announced. It's a big blow to ISIS. It also changes some of the ideology a little bit. It helps diminish a lot of the recruiting that can go on. But of course, it does help him, obviously, with some of the recent lightning rod that he is for the impeachment and whatnot. But they've been beating that drum for 3 years. So this is something that tactically separate from an Obama before and separate from Trump now. It's the really great intelligence workers. It's the military. It's all the people involved, not just from the states and other intelligence agencies, that gather that intelligence. So this opportunity came up. About 3 weeks ago, they started to observe him, and they probably observed a lot of intelligence, communication techniques and that, and then they realized they had to act and act fast.
And on that note, President Trump had been clear when he spoke to really the world today that this had been a top goal for his administration. But really, behind the scenes, how close were American forces and their international partners? How close were they to closing in on this leader and capturing him? I mean, what's the time period here? Weeks, months?
They've been working on this for years. It really bared free literally 3 weeks ago when they got the intel, were able to verify physically that was him. Of course, the ultimate verification came with a DNA test they would have done on site when they uncovered the body after the collapsed tunnel. But this is something that would have been worked on inch by inch by inch. They also had to get a lot of clearance. It's very dangerous to fly over, what's a very bad neighborhood. You got Turkey involved, Russia, you got Iranian proxies, all these different forces in that area. To take 8 helicopters supporting drones, gunships and things through certain areas, it's dangerous.
And I want to ask you your point about the DNA test. So, and I mentioned earlier that al-Baghdadi had in the past, it's been incorrectly reported that he was dead. Yeah. And sometimes that's something a leader of a terrorist organization or someone high profile in a terrorist organization wants, for people to think that they were dead. On that note, well, President Trump came out today and said they've got this guy and that he's dead. Reportedly, the forensics and DNA tests are not complete. So how confident are terrorism experts that they've got the right guy?
It would be 100%. They wouldn't have announced it otherwise. It would be huge egg on their face. It'd be used for recruiting techniques. No, there's no question they've got him. And they, like I said, they would have observed him for about a 3-week period until they actually took action in the moment of opportune moments that they could strike on.
Okay, thank you. Jeff Hall, director with the NATO Association of Canada and a counterterrorism expert. We appreciate your time. And Arda, we'll continue to have reaction, insight, and expertise throughout the day.
Thanks, Christina.